Today we're going through everything Donald Trump said about the election of Zohran Mamdani in New York City, as well as reviewing a State of the Union that he gave upon the 1-year anniversary of him being elected. So let's get right into it. So Zohran Mamdani was elected last night, and Donald Trump posted this. He said, "Trump wasn't on the ballot, and Shutdown were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight, according to pollsters." And right after the election of Zohran Mamdani, Donald Trump also said, "And so it begins." And he's been referring to Mamdani as ushering in a socialist agenda in the Democrat Party. He had previously said that he wanted to withhold federal funding from New York if Mamdani had been elected, and he also wants to take other drastic measures to push forward his agenda, such as he's mentioned in the past, terminating the filibuster, and he wants to get back to passing legislation and voter reform. And today he said this voter reform includes voter ID, no mail-in ballots, to save the Supreme Court from packing, and no two-state addition. He wants to terminate that filibuster. And this morning, presumably to strategize about reopening the government, Donald Trump had a breakfast with Republican senators, and he posted a link to that right here. The remarks were around 20 minutes, and they mainly focused on the anniversary of his election victory. He also claimed that under the Biden administration, SNAP was expanded excessively. He said we need to reopen the government, and once again, he advocated for Republicans to terminate the Senate filibuster. He also celebrated his previous legislative wins, such as the Big Beautiful Bill, and he prioritized voter ID laws. Essentially everything he'd been posting about on True Social. And he once again called on Chuck Schumer and the radical Democrat Congress to stop playing games with people's lives and to pass a clean funding bill. And he says that they've done this 30 times before, and they need to reopen the government immediately. And he says that the Democrats are forcing federal workers to go without paychecks, and they're stranding thousands of travelers at airports. This is all in an effort to extort hundreds of billions of dollars in new spending, that they're demanding free healthcare for illegal aliens. And this was all at a speech at the American Business Forum, in which he also said that they've lifted over 600,000 Americans off of food stamps. He said that 1.9 million more American-born workers are employed today than when he first took office. And he says we have more people working now than at any time in the history of our country. And in case you're interested, these full remarks are on Rumble, and they're about an hour and 31 minutes long. He also said that Walmart just announced that prices for a Thanksgiving dinner is now 25% down since under sleepy crooked Joe Biden in 2024. Affordability is a Republican stronghold. Hopefully Republicans will use this irrefutable fact. And I was curious to see where this claim came from, so I asked Grok to fact check this claim with the most up-to-date information. So Grok said, upon verification, Walmart did announce a significant reduction in the cost of its annual Thanksgiving meal for 2025. Specifically, the 2025 basket, which serves 10 people, is priced at approximately $39.92 in total, or less than $4 per person. This represents a decrease from the 2024 basket, which cost roughly $53 to $56 for a meal serving 8 people, or less than $7 per person. Walmart CEO John Furner stated in an interview that the 2025 price reflects about 25% reduction from the 2024 levels, equating to savings of approximately $14 per basket. Additional reports confirm this 25% discount on the comparable basket price. A caveat to this is that the 2025 version includes around 20 items, and the 2024 version features around 29 items. But Grok says, in summary, the core factual element of the claim that Walmart announced a 25% reduction in Thanksgiving dinner prices from 2024 is supported by Walmart's statements and contemporaneous reporting. And before we move on to Donald Trump's State of the Union after 1 year, I want to cover some miscellaneous stuff. So Donald Trump says that the 60-minute interview of Donald Trump on CBS Saturday night was the highest rated 60 minutes in years. Also, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez gave Donald Trump a key to the city to build a presidential library. Here's a video of that taking place.
You like real estate, right? I do. Yeah, this is a key that opens some really nice presidential library real estate.
He also gave some book endorsements. For example, this one book from Agent Nicole Parker, who wrote a book about the betrayal she saw at the FBI, as well as a story about crime in Chicago called The Day My Brother Was Murdered. Another book by Congressman Barry Loudermilk called And Then They Prayed, about the impact of prayer in American history. Another book by Peter Navarro, Donald Trump's trade counselor, basically the guy who created Donald Trump's tariff policy, called I Went to Prison So You Wouldn't Have To, a love and lawfare story in Trumpland. And finally, another book by Christina Bobb called Defiant, Inside the Mar-a-Lago Raid and the Left's Ongoing Lawfare. All right, so now into Donald Trump's State of the Union address after 1 year of being elected. He started off by saying, "Happy anniversary, MAGA," and he said that their 2024 presidential campaign was historic, and together We are making America great again, greater than ever before. Then he went through some recent events and policies that he's been pushing and talking about, starting with Christianity in Nigeria.
Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands and thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. That's a legal definition. When the Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. What horrible numbers. Something has to be done. I am asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and to report back to me. And I mean, like, immediately. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria.
I saw this morning. Apparently, Nicki Minaj praised Donald Trump about him acknowledging the threat in Nigeria. She said, reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude. We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror, and it's dangerous to pretend we didn't notice. Thank you to President Trump and his team for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Let's remember to lift them up in prayer. And apparently she got massive blowback from this, losing 100,000 followers, but I thought that story was interesting. And in this State of the Union, Donald Trump also said that he's instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. He also congratulated those at the Republican Jewish Coalition on 40 amazing years.
Hello to everyone at the Republican Jewish Coalition, and congratulations on 40 amazing years. I want to thank your national chairman, former Senator Norm Coleman, along with your CEO, Matt Brooks, and my friend Miriam Adelson, and so many other incredible supporters, distinguished guests out in beautiful Las Vegas.
He also talked about his successful trip to Asia, saying that no other president has brought more business into the United States of America. He also talked about his meeting with the new Prime Minister of Japan, Sanai Takaichi.
It was my great honor to meet the new Prime Minister of Japan, the first in the history of Japan to be a woman. And she is a strong woman, she is a smart woman, and she has got an incredible future, and we're going to get along with her fantastically well. I really enjoyed the meeting. She is a fantastic person. Thank you very much.
Takaichi is kind of like a female Japanese version of Trump. She's against mass immigration. She's pro-Japan. She wants to amend their Article 9 so that Japan can defend themselves. So she's trying to align with Donald Trump, and they recently had a meeting. He also talked about his meeting with President Xi of China.
My G2, as I call it, meeting with President Xi of China was a great one for both of our countries. This meeting will lead to everlasting peace and success. God bless both China and the USA.
So there's Donald Trump blessing China. He also called Obamacare a disaster.
As I've said for years, Obamacare is a total disaster waiting to happen. Rates are going through the roof for the really bad health care that you're not getting even. Do something, Democrats. Sit down and do something. We want to make it better, or we want to get something that's good. Obamacare is a disaster, too expensive, and the rates are going too high. I said it right from the beginning. It's no good.
In the recent 60 Minutes interview with Donald Trump, he was asked how he would reform Obamacare. And he basically said, Democrats, open up the government and we can talk. I'll sit with you and I'll talk about reforming it. So that's what that's about. And he once again called on the Republicans to end the filibuster, but I don't want to belabor that, so we won't watch that 3-minute video. And he told Republicans to be tough, smart, and win.
Remember, Republicans, regardless of the Schumer shutdown, the Democrats will terminate the filibuster the first chance they get. They will pack the Supreme Court of the United States, pick up 2 states, that's a lot of states, and add at least 8 electoral votes. Their 2 objectors are gone. Remember, Sinema and Manchin, they're gone. Don't be weak. Don't be stupid, Republicans. Fight, fight, fight. Win, win, win. We will immediately end the extortionist shutdown, get all of our agenda passed, and make life so good for Americans that these deranged Democrat politicians will never again have the chance to destroy America. They tried to destroy your country. Republicans, you will rue the day that you didn't terminate the filibuster. Be tough, be smart, and win. This is much bigger than the shutdown. This is the survival of our country. Terminate the filibuster and let's live the great life that this country is capable of living.
Okay, so that was everything Donald Trump said today. Looks like he's not very happy with Mamdani, but I think, again, the most interesting thing was his increasingly aggressive calls to end the filibuster. The filibuster exists to slow down our legislative process, almost as a check and balance of a small majority. It requires 60 votes to overturn, and it is the reason why we're shut down right now. The Republicans need Democrat cooperation in order to open up the government. They need that 60 votes. So ending the filibuster would radically make the Republicans' agenda easier. However, Republicans are afraid that if they end the filibuster, the Democrats are going to utilize that to pack the court and just blow through their agenda if they were to get back in power. But Donald Trump isn't standing for this. So I think it's really interesting where this will go. As always, if you'd like to support this channel, consider joining it as a member or just simply subscribe. And I am out.